You are watching Kasapa Media.
Back in the days at Kivas, it was difficult
Kasapa
for
Media.
a student to associate himself with NDC. When we're at the university, if you want to contest for leadership on campus and anybody there says you are an NDC, you will lose. No student wanted to hear NDC. So the NDC boys, they were hiding to do their meetings. They won't do their meetings in the open. But MPP TESCON took things for granted. And there was a time I was commending NDC for their transformation. It was misconstrued. Today, I won't let any fear grip me. I will face the reality and let people misconstrue it. But that is the reality. Our friends in the NDC decided not to give up. They went into rebranding of their party. They branded their party to make it attractive to students. I remember Casford Hall, my own cousin, was contesting for Casford Hall presidency. I was his campaign manager. Last minute he lost. And after the election, we were told that, there was some NDC pickup at Ogwa Hall area. And he was talking to the president. Somebody used as campaign propaganda. So that is what made the student vote against him. But today, Detained may even be popular than TESCON. Today, students are able to proudly say I'm NDC because of the branding. So the NDC, MPP people listen well and stop sleeping. When we won the first time in the year 2000, we were so happy. The NDC was devastated. They even feared to go to the radio stations. But within 2 years, they brought themselves together. To the extent that by 2004, they were able to reclaim some of the seats we snatched from them in 2000. By 2008, they had made themselves formidable to snatch power. Then we went back to prepare ourselves for 2016 after the disappointment in 2012, and we got back power, got the highest majority seats ever, 169. Again, we went to sleep. We thought it was all about free SHS. Whereas our friends were breaking it into pieces and crashing the impact of free SHS. I'm sure all of you are free SHS products. Majority of you are. Yes. Of course, majority of you are free SHS products. That is true. Hello. Lend me your ears. We are having a good conversation. And when we had a 169, again we went to sleep, and our friends rebranded. In fact, some people even thought it was over for JL. He's lost by over 1 million. But in politics, branding, packaging is everything. So if you are aspiring to be a political strategist, take this from me. Branding, packaging is everything. So within 8 years, our friends come
Kasapa Media
and create a deficit of 2.1 million for us. And even our mighty 88, they have managed to snatch one to make it mighty 87. But all too soon, they have forgotten themselves. they have started sliding and they don't see it. They have forgotten the jobs issue, the 24-hour economy, they seem to have forgotten. The Galamsey they promised they are going to deal with it, they have forgotten. Central region, the water is not flowing, water's bodies polluted. The gold bond that was set up, beautiful idea, but I warned them in Parliament that it was going to promote Galamsey, and that is what is happening. Gentlemen and ladies, situation is getting out of hand, and that is a reality. And our friends should not take that great image they have for granted. It's getting out of hand. By January next year, the youth will begin to ask about the jobs. At that point, it's no more about going to say this or that. It's not about the song, and it's not about anything again. You can't continue to blame the Akufo-Addo government anymore. They will need the deliverables. Today, if you are a political opponent and you are not careful, you get arrested for criticizing the government. They say causing fear and panic. These are the things that politicians take for granted when they get power. And in the end, before they realize it's too late to recover. Yesterday I was sat in court. I brought the ruling of the judge.
You are watching Kasapa Media.
I was the lead counsel for Abronia. And because we are in an academic environment, though you are not lawyers, I want you to just Google after here the case of Tagore versus the Republic. It's a court of appeal decision. Tagore. It was Dr. Ayeni who did that case on appeal, where the court of appeal said that the fact that a case gains notoriety in public space, it doesn't whittle down the requirement to meet all the ingredients to be proven to find the person guilty, and that the prosecution must lead evidence. So you hear of a matter, it's been discussed on social media, and we think it's sufficient, the person is guilty. Tagore was freed by the court of appeal on those cocaine related charges because the court of appeal felt that prosecution could not do a good job. So if somebody is alleged to have committed an offense, what the police is supposed to do is to have all the patience to investigate and follow due process. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we get impatient, but the best way to sustain democracy is to ensure that institutions work, and they work for the good of all. So yesterday,
you are watching
a judge
Kasapa Media
receives Abonye in his court. Earlier in the week, the police go to him. The prosecutor says to the judge, I want you to remand him till Friday. Then he also granted. Yesterday we were in court. This is what the judge said. Listen to him. He's a judge. Listen to him. He says, quote, accused person before the court is facing 2 charges of misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is a lesser offense, an offense that means nothing, really. If you are convicted, it's a fine, then you go home. This is important. He said, however, in this instant case, the court will not look at only the charges being misdemeanor, but will extend it to the position of the IGP to the country. That is the head of the police service. The words which came from the accused person is likely to put the security of the nation into disrepute. Then he goes further to worsen the matter. He says, it is always said that all persons are equal persons, but in practice, it is not so. Then he quotes George Orwell's satire, The Animal Farm. One of the commandments is that all men are equal, but some are equal than others. Translated into this case, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. This is what the judge said. To remand Abronye into custody again. If you are a judge and you're remanding somebody into custody, what you are basically saying is that if the person is granted bail, he may not come to court for trial, or he would interfere in the investigation. The judge did not say this in his ruling. He says that the matter involves IGP, and all men are not the same. So if you are involved in a matter with somebody who is considered a big person in society, you go to jail. Such a dangerous precedent. If we don't talk about it, where would be our democracy? And ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to have been part of ECOWAS Parliament. I have roamed through the sub-region. Ghana stands tall, but we can make it better.